family. My name is Shannon Dale Stott, and you have tuned in to Improv on and off the show. I am the creative director. I am the creator and director, which also makes me the creative director of Improv on and off the stage. Improv on and off the stage helps people to connect with themselves and others through improv. I have been doing improv for over 20 years, and I have found its benefits to be world-reaching, worldwide. The benefits are fully internal and fully external, teaching me things like confidence, connection to others and self, strength in mind and body. All of these things improv has taught me, and I want to share them with you. So Improv on and off the stage makes sure that people who are improvisers get the things that they need to have strength and confidence on the stage, but also people who are not improvisers get the strength and confidence and things that they need to be those things off of the stage. Now, this show is all about taking themes and figuring out how we can make those themes appear for us on stage and off. Themes like confidence, things like love. And tonight, our theme is gratitude. And we have a whole bunch of people behind the scenes who are going to come up here and talk to us about gratitude. The thing is, some of us are improvisers, that's me, and some of us are not. You'll meet them later. But I have one more improviser partner, and he is Aaron Sines.
Hi, Shannon Dale Stott. How are you?
Oh my gosh. Hi, Aaron Sines. How are you? I'm well.
I'm really good. I'm very happy to be here. Very thankful to be here. Ba-ba-ba.
Wow, you did it.
Right out the gates.
You did it right. Right?
Show over. Well done, everyone.
Why even bother? Like, if you're thankful, it's done. Can you, Aaron, first off, you've been improvising just about as long as I have, about over 20 years, right?
Yes. I feel like that was a little competitive. All right, let's see who lives longer, Shannon. We'll do this. We'll see this. We're not dead yet. We'll figure it out. Yes, I have been improvising for over 20 years.
Time together. Oh my gosh. Anyway, no, this is not a competition. What we're talking about, what I'm saying is you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
And you have seen, and you've lived life, and you've seen gratitude come up in your stage performances and in your life performances. I'm wondering right now, performances in life, right? Walking across the street is sometimes a performance, huh?
Every time with me, I have twice to walk. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I know, I've been there. As you've walked across the street before.
It's good.
How is gratitude showing up in your life today, or just in general right now?
Well, so on the stage, I think over the years, I've discovered that no matter what your partner gives you, you have to start with gratitude just to get yourself in the right mind space. So sometimes as an improviser, often you'll be doing these big shows with people you've maybe just met seconds before, maybe never even talked to, and you walk on stage and they throw you something that you're just not ready for, not interested in, don't want. But if you can at least take the moment to say, in your mind, thank you for that. That either challenges me, it pushes me to a new place, it makes me push and hold a boundary, etc. Things like that. If you can come at it with gratitude, then the next thing that's out of your mouth, or the first thing that's out of your mouth, will be something that's going to build a scene, build a performance together. So I think gratitude at improv is sort of the seed that everything grows from. And then in my personal life, I have 2 small children. And that is a very basic, first of all, a very big gratitude that I can have them. But when you teach kids gratitude, you got to start small. You have to start with like the politeness. You have to start with, hey, isn't that a nice thing? Where did that nice thing come from? So awareness becomes an enormous thing that you're trying to impart to your kids. So right now, that's really the biggest way that I experience gratitude in my life, is trying to build awareness of it, not just in myself, but in my kids.
Yeah, awareness is a big deal. We, as improvisers, we often talk about, and teachers of improv, we often talk about gratitude in the form of gifts, right? What you were talking about, when people give you those things, maybe you want it, maybe you don't, whatever it is, but we call them gifts, right? And that's an interesting thing, because I love that this connection of the gift and the awareness of the gift, the awareness that somebody is giving you anything at all, and then to accept that thing as a gift be grateful for it, either because you really like it, or it pushes you or changes you in some way.
Yeah, gratitude is if you're feeling pinned down by something, gratitude really flips that around. It's saying, "Oh, I appreciate this. Now I
Yes.
am on top of what is happening now, and I can direct it better." Even if you don't even have the control necessarily, you at least have that mentality that allows you to see it as something that's in your life for a reason, and thus something you can work with. Which, by the way, and sometimes you really got to work it, but it it really does help.
Aaron, you said so. Aaron, sometimes you say these nuggets and I'm just like, but I could eat these chicken nuggets all day. I don't like chicken nuggets, but these nuggets I'll eat. But this idea of the gratitude being something that you're given, and when you accept it, you can be on top of it, right? You can be, I don't want to say control, but you have a little bit more. It does bring that awareness, and now we can say what we're going to do with that gift. The gratitude opens us up a little bit.
Yeah, it moves us on. And speaking of moving on and being on top of things, I want to introduce someone who is always on top of things, the wonderful Emily Arnold, our behavioral analyst. Can we bring Emily on?
Yeah, I think so. Hi, Emily.
Hi. I'm so thankful to be here.
Oh, you did it. You and Aaron, get out of here. So you know we're talking about gratitude. You know it. And Emily, you are a behavioral analyst,
That's right.
Licensed behavioral analyst.
I'm a licensed behavior analyst in the state of Virginia.
Like, yeah. Yes. Thank you for coming here. From Virginia. You're not actually here in Austin. We're in Austin, Texas. Aaron and I are in Austin, Texas. Emily is joining us from Virginia. Thank you. And you're looking at gratitude through your particular lens, through this behavioral analyst lens. Talk to us about that.
That's right.
My
job here. Oh.
I was going to say, and an improviser lens, because you are an improviser.
I am. That's true. I've been an improviser and a behavior analyst for like the same amount of years. So everything's really intertwined for me. But yeah, I'm here to think about how we define gratitude and how we implement gratitude in our lives. And Aaron, I think what you were just saying about taking like ownership of a thing when you find that positive spin, I think that's exactly one of the great benefits of utilizing gratitude in your life.
This is good.
I don't know if we normally do this, Shannon, but I want to ask Emily the question you asked me, because I'm now going to probably ask everybody this question, which is how is gratitude expressing itself in your life right now, Emily?
Oh, well, that's actually a really good question that's going to tie into my presentation that I'm going to give in a second. So I try to find stuff that I'm doing with my life. I want it to be stuff that has value and that I appreciate. Even the, billing notes that I have to put in at work. I can put those in. Because I put those in, I can get paid and continue to do my job. So I find with gratitude, finding the positive something in all of the things, even if it's kind of a less pleasant activity.
Yeah. And that goes back to what Aaron was saying as far as gifts on stage, right? Sometimes it's whatever it is that you're given isn't something that necessarily that you want, but what you're talking about is exactly what both of you are saying the same thing, right?
Yeah. It's easy to be grateful for like the fun stuff. It's harder to be grateful for stuff that you don't necessarily dig. Or
Emily, I'm going to push you a little bit. Then if it's harder to be grateful for the not fun stuff, what is the benefit of being grateful in those moments, whether you're on stage or off?
Well, this is a great segue to my slideshow.
Then we're going to go. We're out of here. We're out of here.
So I'm going to take a moment. So I'm here to talk about gratitude in a little bit more of a defining sort of way, to give some examples and talk about why it's important. It's so great. I don't share this with Aaron and Shannon beforehand. So it's really fun when this segues really well. So let's talk about gratitude, which I think when we kind of think about it at first can be something that's a little bit, like Erin said, it's something that you teach kids. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you got to be grateful. And it's like this wholesome, sweet, thing that we kind of think about teaching kids to have some gratitude. But there is a lot of benefit besides, being a polite member of society. So let's talk about it. First, I'm going to define it for us. Now, there are two ways that I think we can define gratitude today. And one of them is what it looks like on the outside when you are expressing gratitude towards someone. This is the easy one, right? This is when we say kind words to people, when we use non-vocal signals like a smile or a hug or like a little touch on the arm, or when we give gifts to people, right? These are the clear ways that we show someone that we appreciate them or the things that they have done for us. So even things like saying, oh, wow, thank you for that thing, a nice little word, sometimes giving gifts and throwing a party, right? Now, here's what happens when we do those things, when someone shows us gratitude, we start to like them a little bit more, right? When people give you presents, you like them a little bit more, right? When someone says something nice to you, you like them a little more. And that's because as humans, we are conditioned, we are built, our brains are built because we're amazing creatures to make these connections with the outside world to things that make us feel good on the inside. So even as young as when we are babies, we know that our parents' touch or hugs make us feel good. And so we start to associate those things with good feelings. So likewise, when we get gifts from people or people say nice things to us, we associate those people with good things. So when your boss gives you a compliment, you might like your boss a little bit more. Or when your spouse, this happens a lot in my house, takes over doing a chore for the day, so that you can rest, like they're showing gratitude to you, but it makes me like them a little bit more, right? It's not too hard. They're pretty likable. But let's think about like that gratitude, kind of the memes that are all over the place and those inspirational quotes. That's not necessarily about giving gifts to others. That's kind of more what we even started talking about today, with this kind of internal sense of gratitude and how we practice that. So on the inside, I would say that practicing gratitude involves thinking about a positive aspect of a person or a thing or a situation and noting how it helped you and how it made you feel good. And so, like we kind of said before, sometimes gratitude is like finding something that might not be as fun. So, kind of like using a flashlight in a dark room and finding those little bits of goodness and love and happiness within kind of a dark area that you're not as much of a fan of. And through that, we start to form associations in our brains with those things. In this example, we start to think, oh, maybe dark rooms aren't all that bad because we can see that there are these beautiful little love flowers in there, right? And so you can think these thoughts to yourself, think like, man, it's nice that I'm having some time alone. Or, wow, I did some work today and it was really hard, but I got to enjoy it and that was great. Or, even after you get through like a really hard workout routine, you survived it and you're like, wow, thanks, body. So this is kind of a muscle that we have to work, right? We as adults especially, like, I don't know about the rest of you millennials, but I'm kind of jaded and can be a little cranky. So these are kind of muscles that we have to work. And so I thought I would talk about 3 specific ways that you can practice gratitude in your day-to-day life to make you feel good about the things that you're doing. So one of these ways is journaling. A lot of people take a journal and they take the time to write down what they're grateful for each day. Whether it's having that time to just like have some you time or some cuddles with your cat or a home cooked meal or some of these nice things, you write them down in a journal. Some people have a daily mantra that they say to themselves. Every day you wake up and you have just a saying that you say to yourself to prepare yourself to be grateful for being here and for doing the things that you are going to do. Now, this is what I do, and this is honestly exactly what my to-do list looks like. Is I divide up my to-do list in ways that things are important to me, so that while I'm doing this work, like I was saying about the billing earlier, while I'm doing it, I'm grateful for it because it is important to me and it makes me feel good on the inside. And so I'm associating these things that might not be fun, like going to physical therapy, with making me feel better. So in that way, we start to look at the world with a little bit more love, compassion, and excitement. And that is gratitude. So based on all of these things that we talked about, I'm now going to kick this over to Aaron and Shannon, and they're going to do an improvised scene based on all of these things of gratitude. So let's see some improvisation.
Oh, I don't know, Monica. It's all over the place for me. How about you?
What? Hun?
What is it like being your age? I mean, what do you enjoy there?
And when you say my age, what exactly do you mean my age?
I don't know why, Monica. A matriarch of the family. You know, when you're at the pinnacle of your family.
Okay, all right. You're putting things on me. You're thinking because I'm old that I've got a lot of wisdom, but maybe sometimes old is just old.
Well, that is wow. See, that's why I come here, Aunt Monica. I would never miss tea with you because maybe old is just old.
Pass the sugar scones. Listen, thank you. This is what I'm asking you to do today, okay? What I'm wondering is, how is your life? You're coming over here thinking I'm the one that needs some sort of help because of my age. But last night I won $10 at bingo. So what's going on with you?
I did not win $10. I don't know. Things with mom still aren't great. We're still fighting about dad's passing and stuff, and that's hard. And she won't go to therapy with me or any of that.
Have you said to her, I'm sorry?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm not really.
Right? Have you tried to look in your heart maybe and said and really thought in your mind, it doesn't matter really who's at fault here? Huh? Have you tried that? Have you looked in your face in the mirror while you're shaving the stubble that's on your hairy lip and thought to yourself, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm actually sorry.
I'm just not, Monica. I mean, that's part of what dad's passing made me feel, is that like I can't just let things go. I mean, there's a limited time on earth, and if you don't stand up for stuff, I don't know.
Let me tell you about standing. As I've gotten older, my age, my legs have gotten shorter. I don't know, my spine compresses or something. I don't know what it is, but I used to be 5'7", and now I swear to God, I'm 5'9", 5'5". Yeah, I went down.
Either way.
Standing up for yourself doesn't always mean being tall, huh? Standing up for yourself sometimes just means standing there in the midst of the rain and the pouring sun. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it just means nothing. It means looking at the person that you're with and saying the words, I'm sorry. Why? Because you've got to keep standing and they've got to keep standing. So you can come here every Sunday with your sugar scones, which are very good, by the way. You can keep coming here telling me you haven't spoken to your mother, or you can stand up for yourself.
So you say that, Monica, and I want to. I'm just so angry about it all the time. All the time. Yeah. And honestly, I just don't want to go the rest either my life or her life, with her thinking that I'm still just some little kid, and I want her to see me for who I am, which is someone who also knows things and also knows how things should be.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard. It's so hard to appreciate anything that she is going through because she doesn't seem to appreciate anything that I'm going through.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Thank you for listening to me. And this must be, I know this is a crazy thing to talk to you about your sister. I just don't
she's
know
my
anyone else who
sister.
knows
If
her.
anyone knows her, I do.
Yeah. Well, if anyone, she doesn't even know herself.
She's the way she is. But I'm saying to you now, think about you're her son. Where do you think your thoughts come from? Her, right? So if she's having the same thoughts, and I'm really not trying to argue, I'm not. I love you, and really why I'm here is the sugar scones. You could really just come by every Sunday, drop the sugar scones off, and leave. It'd be fine with me.
The nephew delivery service, yes, I'm sure.
I've heard of it. It's Uber Eats. Uber Eats is what they're calling it now, not just Uber. I'm just saying you're his son, and she has the same thoughts you have. I'm going to shut up now with another sugar scone. Pass me a sugar scone, dear.
Sure, sweetie. Thanks, Aunt Monica.
Hey, I'm just here for the scones. I'm just here for the scones.
You're just here for the scones. That was beautiful.
I feel like that's going to be the lesson. That's the T-shirt, if nothing else. That's what this episode is about.
Can we get a merch store?
Can it be sugar stones? Sugar scones. Also, Uber Eats. But today's episode is sponsored by Uber Eats. Get your sugar scones for your Aunt Monica. That's the only reason she lets you talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats. Uber Eats. I love that. Yes, Emily. Tell us what you saw. Let's talk about that.
There were so many gifts that you gave each other. So as improvisers, so what I like to talk about here is not the content of your scene, but the performance of the scene, the technical stuff. And the two of you gave each other so many wonderful gifts, and you could tell how much fun you were having with that, with being the old wise woman dispensing information to this kid who just keeps bringing her sugar scones. And then near the end, tacking on that, this isn't just some random old lady that Aaron's delivering things to, but every Sunday you bring your aunt, and what a beautiful gift to make that just one level deeper for that relationship. And I could see how much fun the two of you were having with all of that.
As your scene partner, Shannon, I am always so grateful when you put on any accent because one, immediately I'm just laughing at whatever strange choice you've made. But two, because you choose accents that are real people in real places, and I'm immediately where I am. I'm I don't even need to say that I'm in the East Coast in New Jersey or New York or some region. I know where I am. I know where these people live. I know what their housing looks like. I know how to get to and from their places. It's you've just put me in a world. And I'm so thankful for that because I sometimes have a hard time thinking of that crap myself. So well done. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. One of the things that Emily talked about in your presentation was at the very end, you started talking about, there was a slide that was sometimes you need to be alone and have gratitude to yourself. There's a self gratification, right? That you need to go through. And I heard it. It's fine. So there's this. And in order to do that, in order to be grateful to yourself, you need to give yourself gifts. And in that particular scene, the gift, I was like, that's really interesting. How do I give myself a gift in this scene? And that's where that character came from. Like, I really don't know, honestly, who that person was. Oh, well, it was like really actually, you were like, Auntie. I was like, that is my aunt. She sounds like that. But I didn't know where that scene was going. I didn't know when you brought us up, Emily, like what I was going to do or how we were going to, you definitely set us up based on all the things that I have just talked about in my marvelous presentation. Aaron and Shannon are going to do this marvelous scene. I was like, oh no, I've got nothing, which the gift of having nothing is to just search within oneself. And it's a really interesting, it's just something really cool that you're talking about, that you can give yourself a gift as well, and what that practice does.
Yeah, especially in improvisation where, it's the first thing that comes out of your mouth. It's like, oh, well, this is what we put out here now. So let's find how it works.
Yeah. And then out there in the world, like I made a choice. I've made this interesting choice. Let's find out how it works. Like I quit my job. That's a gift to myself. Thank you, self. Now let's find out how that works.
Yeah.
Like, or a myriad. I had a child. I broke my leg. Whatever. I'm starting a new something is always a gift.
Shannon, are you talking about all the real world gifts that you can give yourself? Because we have a very wonderful person who has done very wonderful things in the real world, and you want to talk to them about that?
Yeah, I do. They are coming up here. We've got Yulanda, thank you so much, McCartney, who is coming up right now. She's going to turn on her camera and be up here with us, and it's going to be amazing. Yes. Hi, Yulanda.
Hi, how are you? Wow. Woo. Okay.
Yulanda, you've never seen Improv.
I'm grateful before. Just to be in this space.
Everyone is doing it. We're all so grateful. It's so good. Yulanda, you are an attorney who has never seen improv before. Is that correct?
I have, no. I've seen a lot of theater, like live theater, but I haven't really seen improv.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to watch you and see how it all works.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Well, thank you for being here. We're excited to talk to you. Aaron and I are going to skedaddle a little bit so that we're just not talking improv all the time. And Emily and you are going to have a little conversation or a big conversation about how improv shows up in your work, Yulanda.
Wow. Okay. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Oh,
wow.
Yulanda, I'm so excited. Let's start. Why don't you start by telling the people what you do, why it's so important.
Well, I guess, what I do and what I am entitled as an attorney in this space and a lawyer. I will say I've had an amazing journey. Since I graduated from law school at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, is where I went to law school. I am a proud Texas Longhorn. I went to undergrad there back in the 80s. But, my lawyer path has been a very non-traditional, I'll call it an innovative lawyer. That's how I present myself on LinkedIn, as an innovative lawyer, because I did everything that I went to law school because I knew the world in which we live operates off of legal principles. And I thought the knowledge that I would have could take me into so many places and create so many opportunities. And that is what it has done. It has created those opportunities. I went into the world of personal injury. I went into defense, being a defense lawyer, working for insurance companies, defending them. And then I went into, what else? I was in Ohio. I moved to Ohio from Texas, and I started working for a law firm, and that's where I did defense laws. And then I went into the city of Toledo, and I did government work, and I was a labor and employment lawyer. And then life changed for me, and someone tapped me and said, you know what? I think you can be an administrative leader. How would you like to lead our affirmative action efforts? And there's where I learned about equal opportunity and diversity and equity, and how to create opportunity for minorities and how to create opportunities for women. And that has been my space for over 20 years, is doing that type of work of ensuring that we have a grateful world, a world where there's justice, a world where there's things are equal. And I've done that and worked into spaces of saying, how do we make sure we don't discriminate against our employees? I've done it on 3 different campuses. Now I'm at University of Texas in Austin. And I was in that space. Then I got into the D&I world. And then I decided, you know what? I like higher ed. Why don't I go get another doctorate degree? Yeah. And so now I started my doctoral degree, and now I'm a doctoral candidate, getting an executive EDD in higher ed leadership. And to add on top of that, I'm a researcher. I've learned how to be a researcher for the Institute of Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault in the College of School of Social Work at UT Austin, dealing with issues of interpersonal violence and sexual assault. And so my research interest is dealing with sexual violence as it relates to Black women, and does trauma show up differently when you do the intersectionality of race and gender. And so I'm doing what's called a qualitative study, where I'm talking to people to say, tell me your story. What are your lived experiences? And then that knowledge is what drives the world. It's like, what is the world in which we live in? And how do we know that? And what's out there, and how do we build on it? And that's what researchers do. Yeah. And so I'm using research to better my skills as an individual. And so it's exciting how the law, and so talking about gratitude, I'm so blessed. I'm blessed beyond measures.
Yeah. And I think the world.
Did that tell you enough, Emily?
No, yeah, that's fun. And I think the world is grateful for you, Yulanda.
I think I lost you for a minute.
Oh, no. I said
the
world is grateful for you. I'm sure, you know, as a woman, thank you for your work. I appreciate it. So I want to know how you practice gratitude. How do you demonstrate gratitude?
Oh, well, you know, it was great listening to you talk about it, to talk about the 2 ways of gratitude, the outside and the internal. And I think I do a better job at the internal now. I do a lot of self-care. I journal. I do all the things you talked about. I journal. I do a daily mantra. I center every morning. And I basically say, okay, Lord, what is it that you would have me to do? And I read my devotion, and it speaks to different things. And what it does is it prepares me to deal with conflict that may come. It prepares me if I get a bad email or a bad text, if someone just not feeling good. And guess what? I respond to that with gratitude. Yeah. And so my lens of looking at the world is so differently now. So where people have experienced a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression, all of those things that have happened because of COVID, I allow myself to go into moments of breathing. And so breathing is very important to me. Mindfulness is very important to me. Being in the present and knowing how you're feeling. And when you have moments that you're not feeling too good, give yourself permission to feel that way. And say, you know what? I don't feel like it today, but don't allow yourself to spiral. The spiraling is what gets you in trouble, when you can't get out and you dig yourself in such a hole. And that's why I can meet people commit suicide. I am not a counselor. I don't have any experience with that, but I know when I see trauma, and I know that I experienced it when I was transitioning into a different job. And I was like, what am I going to do next? And everyone said, Yulanda, you're a lawyer. You can do anything. And they just thought that you could just, hey, your license, you go back up and picked up. And so I have not did the traditional path of being a lawyer. But I looked at something, Emily, and it says, what are good skills for a lawyer? What's a good lawyer? Mm-hmm. And everything that's about a good lawyer is who I am. I embody all of the things about a lawyer, about knowledge of the law, having a passion around the work, having good judgment, creativity, strong writer skills, perseverance. And then that healthy skepticism kind of gets me in trouble because people will say, quit. Can't you just believe what I'm saying? And you always have to sit back and say, you know what? You may not be telling me the whole entire story. And you got to recognize that as a lawyer. You have to have that discernment to say everything that you're being told may not be true. And how do you deal with that? So I think I'm like this great lawyer, this lawyer like you would love to have on your team because I have the passion. And guess what? I can do that work and I love the law and I just, it's a passion of mine. And now I just use it in a different way to make things better in whatever space that I'm in.
Yeah, those skills are transferable to being a good
anything.
citizen. Yeah.
It just gives you a lot more opportunities. So when I'm going into the world and I'm applying, people unfortunately will look at, oh, she's a lawyer. She knows how to do critical thinking. She knows how to think off the top of her feet. She knows all those things without even you opening your mouth.
Yeah.
They think that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Which can be, in the world of gratitude, like it can be a nice gift.
It could be a nice gift. And in a way, you talk about privileges, and that is a privilege that I have, that I recognize that I have a privilege of walking into space of things where people are not. I mean, you have the opportunity, which is the ultimate, is I consider myself as a servant leader. Yeah. And I serve in so many ways of giving back. And there's been so many people that call me and say, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? The people from my church. And it's just a gift to be able to say, what is it that you need me to do? If I don't have it, I can connect you with someone that has the right answer for you. And that's the gifts that I have. And so I'm so appreciative and thankful. And that's how it operates in my life and has since for the last 20, 30 years of my life. And I'm just thankful.
That is amazing. You are so cool. And I'm going to ask you to give us another gift because I'm going to ask you to play a game with Aaron and Shannon. So they're going to come on in a second. And I think I'm going to explain the rules of this first game.
That would be so great.
Oh, right. You know what? I thought I was supposed to do that. This is not my time, right?
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet.
This is not my time. You go ahead, Emily, and take this away.
You're going to be right
first game you're going to play with these two, Yulanda. They're going to do an improvised scene for you. And throughout this scene, whenever you would like, we would love for you to add some conjunctions into their scene. So and they're going to take that and they're going to go. And then that's going to be your first game. So I would love to see what the three of you do. Yulanda, you're amazing. And get to it. I'm going to hide.
Ooh.
All right. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see how this works out. Are you ready, Aaron, for a scene of any sort?
Oh, I'm not ready, but I'm willing.
All right, here we go. Conjunction it is. This is a beautiful museum. I cannot believe you got your although John, it could have been smaller. It's hard to walk around, but I'm glad that you got your art in here anyway,
Tell me why.
Tell me why you chose this museum.
Well, the issue was that we had such large buildings and such amazing large art, but we had never seen it crammed. And I thought the cramming process would really tell you how the modern world takes what is nice and natural and tries to put it into a place where it is
only, Aaron.
If only we could ourselves be crammed into that art space. And so that is why the tunnel gets progressively smaller and why the ideas get progressively bigger.
Whereas
I, through my life, have only gotten progressively better. Yes.
You are so
until, of course, I die. In which case, I will then be placed into that glass casket over there.
Oh, a glass casket. Wow, you thought of everything. I feel like this is a place where you have really put your life's work instead of just as a porcupine sheds its quills, you have shed your inhibitions.
If only you had thought to make the glass slightly more opaque. That way people, it would be a little bit more reserved in certain areas. However,
you know me, a traditionalist at heart. All I want is the best for you, John.
Yes.
Now,
really.
Aaron. I said now. Now Aaron. You must. Yes. I said now. Yes.
Now. And yes, the spirit inside me is telling me that now is my time. Now is my time to shed my quills like the hedgehog with the very old hedgehog king. I shall shed who I am and place myself in the glass casket prematurely. That is so that I may become the dead person that I've always been meant to be.
Whoa, John! Whoa! We're not trying to kill you off early. If you are trying to have your life's work projected onto these walls, you have to live. You have to live.
As soon as
I get more money, John, I'm going to invest in this museum, and you and I are going to be the friendship that
intertwine us.
Yes, we're going to be as intertwined as we've ever been.
And after
that, no more tiny tunnels.
No. Now then the tunnel should grow. It should get so large that all of the things we shall have together shall be immense and infinite. Yes, that is what I imagine. That on the back of this museum where I have placed a casket for my death, instead I shall break it. And I shall break that fourth wall.
But
I shall not break it just physically, but metaphysically. And through that breakage, I shall open the museum up into the entire world. For the entire world will be our museum.
Likewise,
the entire world will be a piece of art. Yes. And I shall not just simply be the one who has opened the world to it, but one who is opened by the world from it.
And Shannon, furthermore,
I shall embrace my multinational European heritage, which spans the entire continent in all the accents I contain within, and I shall become something greater with you, my co-creator in this space, my, shall I say, patron.
Yes. And yes, and yes, I am your patron. The end.
You hit it! Oh my God, you guys! Boom! Boom!
Yolanda says boom. Yolanda says we hit it.
Tens.
Felt it.
Tens. You got it. Oh, you got it. Whoa! Wow. Did I give you enough conjunctions?
So many conjunctions. I was like, wow, that is a conjunction. How? I tomorrow I will be using these conjunctions. All right. Okay. So
we're not done.
We're not.
I have a. Do I do my game for you?
I think that's the time.
Do you have a game for us?
Yes. And this one is okay. You guys have heard of Law and Order.
Yes.
You've heard of Perry Mason.
Let's hold on. Okay, before we get into this, let's just frame. Aaron and I are getting a gift right now, right? We don't know what you're about to ask us to do, and
I know, but it's easy. You've seen a Law and Order show, right? You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you've heard of when they go into the courtroom. And see, I did this when I was in law school. This is mock trial, right? You are getting ready to give a performance in trial. You are speaking to your jury. There is what's called an opening, and then there's a closing.
Okay.
I want you to close with why people should be grateful or have gratitude in spite of all the craziness that we've gone through in the last year and a half. Why should they be grateful? I'm going to see which one of you come out and argue the best on that. Give me 1 to 2 minutes. I think that should be good, where you do me a closing. Close us out on why we should be grateful despite all the political chaos that's going on, the disparities that's going on, the voting rights issues that are going on, the health disparities, educational disparities. You know what? We've lost over 700,000 people that have died of COVID. But why are you telling us we should be grateful? Okay, who wants to go first?
Oh yeah,
Oh, Aaron, you're going first. Let me see how you do. I'm going to grade you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I believe that over the last course of this trial, you have seen evidence of the profound and inescapable inequities of our world, of the trials and tribulations we all face, of those things which tear us down as individuals and as a people. And I can see it on your faces, both then and now, the weariness and the troubles that are there. I know that you feel this. I know that you have felt this pain and that you have survived and endured. So how can I, in good conscience, ask you to be grateful? How can I, as a moral and upright person, ask you to face the darkness and terror of the world and be grateful? I ask you not as a reflection of that world, but I ask you to be grateful as a reflection of who you are, of what will make you the person that can persevere and survive in that darkness, who can thrive and grow. And to grow, you need light. And that light must come from within. And that light starts with gratitude. I am asking you to be grateful for what you have and for what you have experienced, positive and negative, not because what you've experienced deserves your gratitude necessarily, though it might. I am asking you to be grateful for what you have and what you've experienced, because that gratitude itself is the beginning. That gratitude is the kernel of truth, of new belief, through which all of what you will hope to enjoy in the future must come. I am asking you to be grateful, not as a reflection, but as a beginning. I'm asking you to be grateful, not by looking in the past, by looking to the future and what and who you wish to be, what and who you wish for all of us to be. Let you choose right now to plant the seed of gratitude so you may grow the tree of equality, of justice, of passion, and of love. Be grateful so you can be everything else you were meant to be. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. That's okay. All right. Okay.
You're up, Scott.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Friends and family. Gratitude. Being grateful, saying thanks. Interesting. I remember when I was 7. I'm going to tell you a story, obviously. And I want you to take a deep breath with me. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Because this story is going to shake us a little. But by the end of the story, I don't think you're going to tell me, Shannon, that story makes me feel grateful. I think you're going to tell me that story makes me feel wounded. I think that that's what's going to happen. And the thing about being wounded is when we are wounded, we are not dead. I was 7 years old and I was looking up at someone that I hold dear. And I don't remember what I said to them. But I was 7. And if you have ever met a 7-year-old, you know that they say awkward things. But I found myself standing up, saying whatever it was that I was saying to this person that I hold dear. And suddenly, I found myself on the floor, holding my face in anguish and pain. I don't know what I said. I don't know what I did. But I was on the floor, wounded. Have you ever been wounded? Have you ever been on the floor so low, so in pain, tears streaking down your face, thinking that you might never get up? But what do? That's right. You get up. You don't get up because you're happy. And you don't get up because you're grateful. These are not the reasons we rise up. We rise up because we must. We must continue. We must go on. We must learn from the people that we hold dear. We learn from them not to treat others the way that we've been treated. We learn from them to be grateful for being here now. That 7-year-old is gone, but this person is here now, in front of you, not necessarily asking you to be grateful for the things that have happened to you. No, those things could have been horrible. They left you on the floor in pain. But where are you now? How did you get here? You had to have come from somewhere. And what I'm asking you is to search your heart and to see what that feeling is that's bringing you here, keeping you here, and pushing you forward. And as you are moving forward, you are bringing yourself and others behind you. Is that gratitude? I don't know. I don't. But I'm not sure what else it could be.
Wow.
Emily's happening.
You guys are awesome. And you had totally different styles. But as a lawyer, what you brought to this was your passion. And you communicated well. And you made me like come inside of you. Like you put me in your shoes. You told Shannon, which is typical, you told a story. Like, hey, this is a story. And Aaron, you just gave me like hope for the future. Like it may not be good now, but hope, keep us alive. And I'm reminded of just the song by Donna McClurkin that talked about stand. You just stand. No matter what happens, stand. And the good thing about falling is that you can get up. And that's what made your closing so beautiful.
Thank you.
So thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
Yolanda,
beautiful.
what a gift. What a gift. Thank you. We are grateful for the gift of,
Yes.
of this
Lawyer.
moment. I'm
I
glad.
know. See, for all those that wanted to be a lawyer and they say, you know what? I don't know how to argue. But lawyering is not about arguing. It's really about listening. How do I listen? How do I listen to my clients so that I can make sure I understand?
Yolanda,
And active listening.
yes, you're hitting on the things that the rest of us know as improvisers, right? As far as speaking, the gift of listening, there is a gift of we speak, yes, that can be a gift, but the active listening part is also very powerful. What is being said, what hasn't been said in a scene, and then off stage, on stage, what's being said, what hasn't been said, what are the underlying themes, and then off stage, the same exact thing. How do we relate
Right.
to each other? What's being said? How do we relate to our
And how
anyways?
do you pivot?
Yeah.
You pivot really well. A lawyer can pivot right off the drop of a dime. They'll hear this and they're like, "Oh, I need to turn. I need to change course as to where I'm going based on listening, based on looking at expressions of a juror." You could say they're not listening and you kind of move up close to get their attention. And then you may step back. Eye contact is very important. And those are all the skills that you have. So each one of you, all of you could be lawyers.
Well, we thank you for that one. We thank
Yes.
you very much for that
I'll tell
one.
my dad that. He'll be so proud.
This has been
Everybody won't say that lawyers got a bad rap. There are really, really good lawyers. They are, truly. I know more good lawyers than I know bad ones. And I served on the disciplinary committee.
Now we all know one more good one, which is you, Yolanda. And this
Yes,
has been a
thank
singular improv experience for me. And I'm so thankful for this. I want to make sure,
Thank you.
and I'm sure we all do, I want to make sure that everyone in the audience knows of anything that you may be active with and doing. I'm so thankful for you as a guest. And do we have a banner or something else to kind of show how?
Yes.
Okay.
So right now we're talking about Yolanda being a licensed attorney in Texas and Ohio. And if you're looking for Yolanda, you can see their name and look them up on here. Whoa. On LinkedIn. On LinkedIn.
Yes, you can find me on LinkedIn. I am not a practicing lawyer. So if you're calling me to say you want me to represent you, I am not going to represent you, but I will definitely hook you up with whomever I can do so. We have a wonderful bar here that I've been a part of, and I know some lawyers. So hey, but if you want to know how to be a non-traditional lawyer, I can tell you that, and go to law school. And I talk to people, one in law school, one to go to law school. And so I would say it's a great, great profession to go in.
Thank you so much, Yolanda. Thank you for being here. Thank you for
Thank
giving us
you.
your
It
wisdom
was beautiful.
and talking about gratitude. This has been very, very fun. Stick around. We'll talk to you backstage. Otherwise, we'll see you later.
Hi, Yolanda.
Oh my goodness. Emily, we did a thing. We did a thing.
Sure did. I feel like your closing arguments said it all. I wrote down, because I always write things down. I wrote down errands that sometimes with gratitude, it's not a reflection, but it's beginning. And from Shannon, we are wounded. We are wounded. We are not dead. That we keep going. Find that gratitude even in the bad, because it's our beginning and we keep on going. It's beautiful. You too.
Thank you so much. This is Emily, the people, if they're looking for you, I put it up. That's where you can find you. Thank you very much for all of your insight and being here and navigating. It's always amazing to work with you. So
you're a guiding light, Emily. Thank you so much.
You two are my sunshines. Thank you.
Take care.
Aaron, signs.
Shannon Dale Stott Davis.
Dang, I'm going to use my whole
Yeah, I just blew up your
whole legal
spot. Sorry.
name. My legal name.
Get the lawyer in us.
I know. It's like, that's my whole legal name. It's good. Aaron, we did a thing. We talked about gratitude in so many different ways.
Yes, and it makes me realize that it's not just the people that, if you've been watching this, it's not just people who are on screen right now who are enabling all this to happen. There are people behind the scenes, not just doing our tech and stuff like that, but people who are supporting you and supporting this channel and supporting our work.
You're so good. You're so good. If you want to be one of those people, you can go to Patreon and support Shannon Stott. If you're looking for things like this, if this is interesting to you, if you're like, wow, improv, I've never seen improv done like this before. I didn't think that improv could affect me this way. Then if you're looking to support improv, go to patreon.com//Shannon Stott and support, because we've got, as Aaron said, so many people backstage and a lot of people who are making improv on and off this show and improv on and off the stage work.
You know what I love about Patreon too, Shannon, is not
Tell
just
me.
that you can go into Patreon, there's comments and chats, and you can share ideas about what you want Shannon to think about and discuss in these. And I think that's great, because now you can do that on Patreon as a paid Patreon member and give and suggest. Or you could do it right now. If you're watching
Right
us,
now,
you could
yes.
help us determine what this show will be next time we do it.
Next time we do it. So the theme was gratitude, and that was brought to us by somebody who was watching the show. So in the chat right now, if you are watching in the chat, go ahead and type in a theme that you want to see us look into, that you want to challenge Emily to bring up a nifty slideshow. She would call it nifty, I think. A nifty slideshow. And talk about the theme so that we can continue improvising on that theme and continue to talk to you about said theme and how it shows up on and off the stage.
Oh.
We'll be looking for it. Yes.
I've been so thankful to be on the stage with you now, Shannon. I would like to get off the stage with you.
Well played. Everyone say bye, Aaron. Bye, Aaron.
Bye.
Ooh, courage over fear, by the way. Courage over fear. I'm getting.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Yeah, we got it. Courage over fear.
We've done bravery. We've done bravery. We've done courage.
Yeah, well, but it is over fear. Think about it. Think about it. All right, here we go. Bye, Aaron.
Bye, Shannon.
All right. Friends and family, we're doing so many things. Listen, if you are looking for me, this is where to find me, shannonstott.com, shannonstott.com. You can find me in so many places. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, but I do teach classes and workshops, and you can sign up for those at shannonstott.com. This has been Improv on and off the show, and I have learned so many things about being grateful and what it means to be grateful for things that are coming in, but also to be grateful within oneself. And I think that is a very important lesson. And I am grateful that all of you have tuned in. So tune in next time for Improv on and off the show. Bye.